BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and it's time already for my May wrap up. So in the month of May, I've had a really good reading month. I'm actually recording this about 5 days earlier than the end of the month because I'm going away on holiday. So this isn't even all I've read this month. There will be more, but I will add that to my June wrap up. This month I've read 23 books. So first of all, I'm going to break down the books, then I'm going to tell you the star ratings, and then I'm going to talk a bit more in detail about the 3 5-star reads I had this month. So this month I've read 5 graphic novels, 7 general fiction books, 1 new adult book, 5 young adult books, 3 classics, and 2 science fiction and fantasy books. So breaking those down into star ratings. My star ratings are good this month. I'm really pleased. I had 3 5-star books, 11 4-star books, 7 3-star books, and just 2 2-star books. So I'm not sure, but I seem to remember last month having more 3-star than 4-star books. So I'm really pleased that the tides have changed and I've had more 4 stars this month. And having 3 5-stars has been really exciting. So let's get into the books and their star ratings. We'll start with the lowest, and that is the 2-star books. Beautiful Bastard by Christina Lauren. Underground by S.L. Gray. Now for the 3-star books. The Collector by John Fowles. Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. Endgame by James Frey. Relativity by Antonia Hayes. Rat Queens Volume 3. All the Birds in the Sky by Charlie Jane Anders. Gotham Academy Volume 2. Now for the 4-star reads. And Again by Jessica Chiarella. The Beauty. Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Maria Semple. Girl Out of Water by Nat Lertsema. When Everything Feels Like the Movies by Raziel Reed. The Moonlight Dreamers by Siobhan Curran. Private Eye. Rat Queens Volumes 1 and Volume 2. Smiler's Fair by Rebecca Levine. And Gotham Academy Volume 1. And now for my 5-star reads. Paper Butterflies by Lisa Heathfield. Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. And Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. So let's talk very briefly about those 5-star reads. The first one is Paper Butterflies by Lisa Heathfield. I'm afraid this is an ARC copy. I haven't got the finished copy here, but this book just gave me all the feels. I read this during a readathon and it had me crying and crying afterwards in my vlog to you guys. It was just a brilliant book. The story is about a girl called June whose mother has died and father has remarried, and she has a stepmother and stepsister. The stepmother is unbelievably cruel and abuses June in the most horrifying ways, and June finds solace in a boy called Blister who she meets and forms a friendship with. We follow her from around the age of 9 or 10 all the way up to adulthood, and we follow one choice she makes and its horrific consequences, and it just... This book made me angry and sad and despairing and all of those things, and I just loved it, and I definitely recommend this to people. If you like YA, you like YA contemporary, you don't mind a book that has themes of abuse and bullying in, then definitely read this book. One of my other 5-star reads was a real treat, and that was Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. I'm so pleased I finally got to this book this month. I loved reading it. I read it with the lovely Kizzy Reads, and we read about 50 to 70 pages a day of this, and it was such a great read. It was a bit of a slow burner actually. It wasn't until the end that I realised how much I was in love with the story and really invested in the characters. It's the story of Scarlett O'Hara. She's a bit of a pampered princess. She's grown up on a cotton plantation. She is pampered and given her own way, and the only thing she has to think about is getting married, and it's just following her life and what happens when the Civil War begins. And it's really a brilliant, epic story, and I definitely recommend picking it up if you haven't already and just taking the time to really slowly devour this book. And the final 5-star read for this month was Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I read this in my new Knickerbocker Classics edition, which I am in love with. It is such a nice font used. It opens nicely. It's floppy enough that it opens. You don't have to break the spine. It's such a great book, and I'm so pleased I finally got to it. And it was just a brilliant story. I knew a little bit about the story going in, things that I'd sort of picked up over years from hearing people talk about it. I knew we were following Jane Eyre. I knew she was a governess in Thornfield Hall, and I knew there was some sort of mystery in the hall. But I didn't know everything that came after that. I was fully expecting the whole thing to be set as her when she's a governess, but it spans from her childhood all the way through to after Thornfield Hall and what happens. And I don't want to say any more because I don't want to spoil this. I think it was so good going into this not knowing too much about the story, and I definitely recommend it. It is not difficult to read. It's not complicated, which is something that I was really worried about. The language is easy to understand, and it's a really truly remarkable story and full of interesting themes. And I definitely recommend, if you want to know more about this book and more in depth and more analysis, that you check out Jen Campbell's video on this. I'll link it down below because she is amazing at dissecting literature and looking at all the themes, and I really enjoyed watching her video after reading this. So I definitely recommend that if you've read Jane Eyre and you're interested in looking into some more of the themes that are involved in the book, you check out that video. So that was my 3 5-star reads for this month. I had a wonderful reading month. I did some great buddy reads. I got 2 classics in my 5-star pile here, and that was not something that I was expecting when I started this year. When I started this year, I was relatively lacking in my classics reading list, and I can't believe how far I've come. I'm reading a Jane Austen a month. I'm picking up lots of different classics to try, and I'm just trying not to be scared of them. One of my goals for this year was to pick up a classic a month. I am hitting that target, and I'm finding that many of them end up in my 5-star pile at the end of the month, so I'm really excited about that. Anyway, that's it from me this month, and I look forward to seeing you in June. Bye for now, BookTube.